It was clear I was no match for this thing right now, but then I spotted the gas canisters in the kitchen, and a plan hit me right away at the same time. Yuki also heard the commotion outside. She could not see what was happening downstairs. But based on her experience from her past life, she figured the blood moon had triggered a global evolution surge. Zombies and mutant beasts were tearing each other apart in a purge, and human survivors had started hunting for crystal cores. Later on, people even developed cultivation methods, and Yuki, as the supreme empress among humanity, had practiced the highest tier Luli breathing technique in her past life. Yuki understood that her zombie dad, as a basic low-level zombie, would barely survive the apocalypse, so she had to power up fast to protect them both. Even as a baby, she could still practice the Luli breathing technique, using the energy saturating the air left behind by the blood, and she began cultivating. As she ran the technique, her tiny body trembled and glowed. As the energy slowly seeped inside, Yuki was grateful she had been reborn in the early days of the apocalypse, which meant she could cultivate with the Liuli breathing technique. Massive amounts of energy particles flooded into her body, making her bones tougher and strengthening her weak psychic power. When I came back upstairs to the bedroom, I saw her body trembling. I thought she had caught a cold and rushed to throw a blanket over her. Yuki was startled awake and found my worried look kind of funny. But she also felt the warmth of a father's love coming from her zombie dad. She had grown up in an orphanage in her past life, and experienced all kinds of coldness and indifference. This was the first time she had ever felt paternal love. Once I confirmed that little Cheeky was okay, I started thinking about how to deal with the zombie outside. A dangerous bomb like that had to be taken care of fast. That evening I sent out Puppet No. 1, controlled by my psychic power, to provoke the tank zombie that was inside the shop, digesting its crystal core energy. The puppet hurled a flower pot at the tank zombie, then bolted, successfully luring it into the shop where I had set up the gas canisters in advance. No. 1 had just barely run into the shop when the tank zombie charged in hard, its massive frame smashing straight through the entrance and completely obliterating my puppet. Right then, Puppet No. 2 slipped into the shop, shut the door, and lit the gas canisters with a lighter. The tank zombie took the full blast of the explosion and let out horrific shrieks inside the inferno. By the time it struggled out of the shop, it collapsed face first at the doorway after the gas canisters exploded. I quickly pulled my consciousness out of the destroyed puppets and watched the massive zombie charred to a crisp at the entrance. I waited about 10 minutes to make absolutely sure the zombie was dead. Before I worked up the nerve to approach, when I got close, I found the zombie burned beyond recognition. Its body had taken enormous damage. I swung my machete, and after a lot of effort, hacked it open to find a white crystal core tinged with red. The pull this core had on me was far stronger than the pure white crystal core I had found before. From what I had observed, the pure white crystal cores were produced when zombies evolved, and continued devouring other zombies, while this red-tinged core was clearly a tier above. Since zombies were starting to get drawn toward the light, I pocketed the crystal core, and picked out 2 fully intact zombies to use as new puppets for collecting crystal cores. After heading back to the complex, I stationed the new puppets downstairs to guard the entrance, while I made my way up to the 3rd floor. Once I confirmed it was safe, I could no longer resist the craving for the crystal core, and swallowed it as the crystal core tempered my body. My skin shifted further toward a human appearance, and beyond just looking more human. My raw physical strength and agility both improved by a noticeable margin after a brief dizzy spell. My mind became unusually clear and sharp, and I could control zombies with much greater ease. I could now simultaneously control 5 zombies, and gained a new ability called Shared Vision, breaking through the old limitation of only being able to control puppets within my line of sight. I could now operate them remotely, and after testing it, the maximum range of my psychic power reached 1,000 meters. Within that range, I could command my puppets to act without having to show up myself, massively boosting my ability to stay alive. Yuki heard the explosion at the shop and the shriek of the evolved zombie. She herself was on the 7th floor and was not worried about being exposed, but the fact that I had been gone so long left her extremely anxious. She knew full well that in her infant state she stood zero chance against an advanced zombie with enhanced combat power. She understood the danger of running into something like that. All she could do was pray that she would not lose the zombie dad who gave her fatherly love. She had planned to keep cultivating the Liuli breathing technique, but was too worried and worked up to focus. Just then, the sound of the front door opening came from outside. Yuki immediately let out a sigh of relief, and a small smile spread across her face. After all, only her zombie dad could unlock the door. When I came back and saw Yuki smiling, I felt warmth bloom inside me, knowing my strength had grown, and I could protect her better. I then happily headed to the kitchen to mix her some formula. Watching her drink it with such sweet contentment, I felt like even this rotting body of mine was radiating something like life in the 2 days following the power-up. I used my psychic puppets to scavenge the surrounding area and turn the lower floors into storage rooms. On top of collecting baby supplies and food, I also found plenty of tools for dealing with zombies. Even though each day was basically the same routine, I still felt deeply satisfied inside, because I could clearly feel myself getting stronger and stronger while Yuki spent her days aside from drinking formula.